Ladies and gentlemen, most men grow up learning almost nothing about their own pelvic floor, yet this hidden network of muscles holds the key to their strength, control, and confidence in bed. The truth is that what lies between your hips is far more powerful than you've been led to believe, and understanding it can change the way you experience sex forever. When we talk about Kegels for men, we are not talking about some random fitness trend or just a secret exercise for women. We are talking about the foundation of male sexual power, the very muscle that determines how long you last, how hard you get, and how much control you have over your release. Every man has this muscle, but very few men have ever been taught to connect with it, and that is the tragedy of modern sexual education. The pelvic floor is like a hidden switch that governs erections, ejaculation, and even the intensity of your orgasm, yet most men go their entire lives without once activating it intentionally. Imagine trying to drive a high-performance car without ever touching the gears. That's what most men are doing with their sexual performance. The pelvic floor is that gear system, and Kegels are how you learn to master it. This muscle group sits deep inside your body, stretching from your pubic bone to your tailbone, holding up everything in your lower core and working silently every single day. You feel it most clearly when you try to stop the flow of urine midstream, or when you clench as if preventing gas from escaping. That's the muscle we are talking about, the hidden key that unlocks stamina and strength. When you begin to understand that this is not just a small motion but a central power hub, your view of sexual performance completely transforms. Men often think erections are only about blood flow, but blood flow is controlled by pressure, and pressure is controlled by muscle engagement. A strong pelvic floor literally traps blood inside the penis, keeping erections harder, fuller, and more resilient against the natural drop-off that happens with fatigue. Weak muscles allow blood to escape too quickly, which is why erections fade or weaken, and that's why training this area is not optional if you want to dominate in bed. The beauty of Kegels is that they do not require equipment, medication, or even a gym. They require awareness and commitment. They are the most discreet yet powerful sexual exercise a man can do, and nobody around you would ever know you're doing them. The pelvic floor is like a hidden engine, and when you learn to rev it up, you gain control over every intimate moment. Without this awareness, men are left at the mercy of their nerves, excitement, or lack of control. With it, they become calm, powerful, and capable of lasting as long as they choose. Think about the times you've been close to climax too soon, the frustration of not being able to hold back, the disappointment of finishing before your partner was ready, the embarrassment of not living up to your own expectations. All of those struggles are linked to a weak pelvic floor. Kegels are the answer, the simple yet revolutionary practice that builds endurance right where you need it most. They are not about magic tricks, they are about muscle control, and once you strengthen those muscles, you will feel the difference in every sexual encounter. Your erections will stand taller, your thrusts will carry more power, and your ability to hold back will give you mastery over timing. What makes this knowledge so powerful is that it reframes sexual stamina as a skill, not just a matter of luck or natural ability. Too many men believe they were either born with stamina or not, but in reality, stamina is trained, strengthened, and mastered through deliberate practice. Just as you would train your chest or arms in the gym, you can train your pelvic floor to be stronger, tighter, and more responsive. A man who ignores this is like an athlete who refuses to train his core. His foundation will always remain weak. But a man who embraces Kegels understands that true strength begins where most people never look, deep inside. The pelvic floor doesn't just control erections, it also controls ejaculation. That means when you build this strength, you gain the ability to hold back when you're about to climax, to pause and regain control instead of letting your body dictate the outcome. You shift from being a passive participant in your pleasure to being the driver of your own experience. You no longer fear the moment of no return, because you've trained yourself to command it. That kind of control doesn't just make sex last longer, it builds an unshakable confidence that your partner will feel every single time you're together. Every man who has ever felt powerless in bed, every man who has ever wished he could last longer, every man who has dreamed of harder erections, they all share the same missing piece: pelvic floor strength. The beauty of Kegels is that they are universal. They work regardless of age, body type, or experience level. They are as essential for a young man looking to impress as they are for an older man who wants to maintain vitality. They are timeless because the principle is simple. Muscles respond to training. When you contract your pelvic floor with intention, you are building a deeper connection to your own sexual energy. You are waking up a muscle that has been ignored, neglected, and left dormant for years. The first time you do it consciously, you realize just how disconnected most men are from this area of their body. But the more you practice, the stronger the connection becomes, and that connection translates into performance. You begin to notice that your erections feel fuller, that you can hold your arousal at a higher peak without spilling over, that your orgasms become more powerful and more explosive, because the very muscles that create orgasm are now trained, primed, and strengthened. This is why Kegels are not just about lasting longer, they are about transforming the entire experience of sex. They make you more aware, more in control, and more present in the moment. Instead of fearing premature release, you are focused on your partner, on the rhythm, on the connection, because you know your body is under control. That shift in mindset alone changes the way you approach intimacy. Most men chase bigger biceps or a broader chest to feel confident, but the truth is that no muscle will impact your sex life more than the one you cannot see. The pelvic floor is invisible, but its effects are undeniable. You don't need to show it off at the beach, but your partner will feel it in bed, and you will feel it every time you rise to the occasion with complete confidence. The pelvic floor is the silent hero of male sexuality, and Kegels are the way you bring it to life. Most men spend their lives chasing better sex through pills, supplements, or tricks they find online, but the truth is that the most powerful tool for better erections and lasting longer has been inside their own body all along. When you strengthen your pelvic floor through Kegels, you are not just working out a hidden muscle, you are unlocking a direct path to stronger, harder, and more controllable erections that make you feel like a new man. Weakness in this area is the reason so many men struggle with finishing too quickly, losing their erection at the wrong time, or not being able to satisfy their partner the way they want to. But strength in this area gives you the control and confidence that every man desires. Doing Kegels is not about fitness for appearance, it is about fitness for performance, and performance in the bedroom is one of the most important markers of male confidence. When your pelvic floor is strong, blood flow is trapped more effectively inside the penis, and that means your erections stay harder for longer. It is not just about getting an erection, it is about keeping it at full power without fading when pressure builds or when arousal fluctuates. This gives you the ability to enter your partner with confidence, knowing that you will not lose strength halfway through. Every thrust becomes more powerful because the foundation supporting it is stronger. Kegels ensure that you are not a victim of weak blood flow or sudden drop-offs in firmness, because the muscle acts like a lock, holding that pressure where you need it most. The benefits go even deeper than hardness. Kegels give you the one skill that every man wishes he had, the ability to decide when he wants to climax. Without this control, sex can feel like a countdown you cannot stop, a rush against the clock that leaves you anxious instead of enjoying the moment. But with Kegels, you build the muscle memory to squeeze, hold, and control the very reflex that triggers ejaculation. That means when you are too close, instead of falling over the edge, you can pull back, breathe, and keep going until you choose otherwise. This is the difference between a man who is controlled by his body and a man who controls his body, and that difference transforms the entire sexual experience. Kegels are not just about control, they are about intensity. When these muscles contract with strength, the orgasms that follow are sharper, stronger, and more explosive. Instead of a weak release that leaves you unsatisfied, you feel the full force of your climax pulsing through a trained muscle system that heightens every wave of pleasure. Men who practice Kegels consistently report that their orgasms are not only stronger but longer, with contractions that ripple deeper through their core. This is because the pelvic floor is literally the orgasm muscle, and when it is trained, it delivers more powerful sensations. The benefits extend far beyond the bedroom. A strong pelvic floor improves urinary control, preventing embarrassing leaks or weak flow as you age. It strengthens the base of your core, giving stability to your lower body, improving posture, and even helping prevent lower back pain. This is not just a sex exercise, it is a life exercise, one that keeps you healthier, more confident, and more in control as you grow older. Men who neglect this area often discover problems later in life that could have been prevented with a few minutes of training each day. But the biggest reason men should do Kegels is confidence. Nothing destroys confidence like worrying about finishing too soon, losing an erection, or disappointing your partner. These fears live in the back of so many men's minds, and they silently kill intimacy. But when you know your body is trained, when you know you can last as long as you want, when you know your erection is strong and unshakable, that fear vanishes and is replaced with boldness, focus, and connection. Your partner feels that difference instantly, because sex is no longer clouded with anxiety. It becomes about pleasure, rhythm, and presence. The confidence Kegels create goes beyond the bedroom. When a man knows he can perform sexually, he carries himself differently in daily life. He stands taller, speaks with more assurance, and radiates energy that others can sense. Sexual confidence is core confidence, and without it, many men walk through life with silent insecurity. Kegels are the practice that eliminates that insecurity and replaces it with undeniable strength. Men should do Kegels because they are simple, discreet, and effective. Unlike hours in the gym or expensive routines, they require no equipment, no money, and no public effort. You can do them while driving, while sitting in a meeting, while lying in bed before sleep. Nobody will ever know, but you will feel the results building day after day. They are the easiest investment in your sexual health you will ever make, and the returns are greater than any supplement or performance booster. Kegels also prepare men for longevity in their sexual health. Erections naturally weaken with age due to changes in blood flow and muscle strength, but consistent pelvic floor training delays and even prevents this decline. Older men who practice Kegels report firmer erections, better stamina, and a more youthful performance compared to those who never trained. This is a lifelong benefit, not a quick fix, and it pays off year after year.
Another reason every man should do Kegels is the way it strengthens the bond with his partner. Lasting longer means you can prioritize her pleasure, explore her body without rushing, and bring her to climax before even thinking about your own. This creates a deeper level of intimacy because your partner feels cared for, satisfied, and desired. A man who can control his release is a man who can give more pleasure, and nothing builds connection faster than shared satisfaction. Kegels also create mental discipline. The act of tightening and holding builds awareness of your body, control over your arousal, and patience with your excitement. This same discipline carries into other areas of life, giving you better focus, stronger willpower, and a deeper sense of self-mastery. It is more than a physical exercise. It is a practice of sexual mindfulness that rewires the way you connect with your own body. For men who struggle with premature ejaculation, Kegels are the most powerful natural solution available. By training the pelvic floor to hold, you literally retrain your body's reflex, giving you the ability to extend your sessions and regain control over your climax. For men with erectile dysfunction, Kegels provide new strength to maintain blood flow and firmness without depending entirely on pills. For men who simply want to take their sex life from average to extraordinary, Kegels are the missing piece that elevate performance to its highest level. Every man should do them, because every man deserves to feel powerful in bed, to have the confidence that he can last, to know that his partner is satisfied, and to experience orgasms that shake his entire body. Without them, men leave their sexual health to chance, but with them, men reclaim control over one of the most important aspects of life: pleasure, intimacy, and masculine vitality. Most men go through their entire lives never truly connecting with the muscle that controls their erections, their orgasm, and their ability to last in bed. Yet the truth is that this muscle is right inside you, waiting to be discovered, and once you learn how to locate it, you unlock the first step toward real sexual mastery. You cannot strengthen what you cannot find, and this is why the very first challenge for every man who wants to train Kegels is learning to feel and isolate the pelvic floor muscle with absolute precision. This muscle is not on the surface like your biceps or chest. It hides deep within your core, yet it controls the most intimate parts of your life. The fastest way to locate it is to do something every man has done without realizing its importance. Try to stop your urine midstream. In that instant when the flow slows or halts, the squeeze you feel is your pelvic floor engaging, and that is the very muscle that will change your performance in bed forever. But stopping urine is only the start, because true mastery comes from feeling that muscle without the need for the bathroom as a reference. Another way to find it is to imagine holding back gas, that subtle clench deep inside your body, not in your abs, not in your thighs, not in your butt, but in the exact center of your pelvis. That contraction is the golden key, the signal that you are activating the exact spot you need to strengthen. For many men, the first attempts are confusing because they feel other muscles firing at the same time. The stomach tenses, the legs flex, the glutes squeeze, but none of that is the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor is smaller, more precise, and more internal, and you must strip away all distractions to connect with it clearly. Locating this muscle is like finding the ignition switch on a powerful machine. Once you press it, the engine roars to life. That small squeeze, subtle as it may seem, is the foundation of sexual control. Without locating it, Kegels become nothing more than random contractions of the wrong muscles, and that is why so many men give up too early, believing they don't work. But the truth is, they were never truly working the right muscle. When you isolate it, when you feel it directly, you suddenly realize how much control you already have over your body, and how much more is possible. It helps to lie down the first time you try, because lying flat removes tension from the rest of your body, and makes it easier to focus inward. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine pulling that muscle upward inside your body, like you are lifting it toward your stomach. If you feel your stomach tightening, you're using the wrong muscle. If your thighs are flexing, you're still not there. If your butt cheeks are squeezing, release them, because that is not the pelvic floor. The real contraction is more subtle, more intimate, and when you feel it correctly, you'll notice it instantly, because the sensation is different from anything else. It feels deeper, closer to your core, closer to your manhood, and it resonates through your pelvis in a way that no other muscle does. You know you've found it when you can make your penis twitch, or lift slightly without moving the rest of your body. That twitch is the clearest proof that your pelvic floor is engaged, because this muscle wraps around the base of your penis and controls its rigidity. Once you feel that, you know you are on the right path. This is not just about guessing. This is about building awareness of the deepest part of your masculinity. That single movement, subtle as it may be, is the muscle that will give you the ability to hold back ejaculation, to keep your erection steel hard, and to control your sexual rhythm with precision. The process of locating this muscle is also the process of learning to connect your mind to your body in a new way. Most men only pay attention to the surface muscles they can see in the mirror, but this muscle requires focus, awareness, and sensitivity. It teaches you to tune into your own body at a deeper level, to listen to the signals that come from within, and to respond with control instead of letting your body act automatically. That mental connection is just as important as the physical one, because it lays the groundwork for the control you will have in the heat of sex. When you can find and squeeze this muscle on command, even in the middle of arousal, you take ownership of your sexual performance in a way few men ever do. For some men, the first attempts at locating the pelvic floor feel weak or uncoordinated, and that is perfectly normal. Just as a beginner struggles to flex their chest or isolate a bicep curl, your brain is not yet wired to control this hidden muscle clearly. But the more you practice searching for it, the stronger the connection becomes, and soon it will feel as natural as clenching your fist. At first it may only be a faint squeeze, a gentle lift, but that tiny spark is the beginning of an entirely new level of sexual power. Locating the pelvic floor is also about learning what not to do. Many men think they've found it when they clench their abs, but that only builds tension and does nothing for stamina. Others mistake squeezing their glutes for the right move, but that only tires the body without strengthening the root. The pelvic floor is separate, and once you isolate it, you will know, because the sensation is unmistakable. It feels internal, almost hidden, yet the effect on your erections and orgasms is undeniable. That clarity is what you must chase until it becomes second nature. The key is repetition, not perfection. Every day that you practice finding this muscle, you sharpen your awareness, and each time you activate it correctly, you are one step closer to mastery. The more you do it, the more easily you can summon it on command, whether you are lying in bed, sitting at work, or making love. This is why the process of locating the pelvic floor is not just physical, but psychological. It trains you to stay calm, to focus, and to take control in moments where most men lose it. When you can locate your pelvic floor instantly, you gain an edge that transforms every sexual experience. You can stop yourself at the edge of orgasm and hold back for as long as you want. You can press blood into your penis to keep it harder, even when your body is tired. You can pulse contractions during sex to heighten your partner's pleasure while extending your own stamina. All of this starts with the simple act of locating the muscle. Without that awareness, the door to mastery remains closed. With it, the door swings wide open, and your body becomes a tool of precision, control, and power. Once you've learned how to find the pelvic floor muscle, the next step is to master the correct technique, because doing Kegels the wrong way is the reason most men never experience the full benefits. The truth is that this exercise is simple, but it demands precision, and every detail matters. If you do it carelessly, you will waste your effort, but if you do it correctly, you will feel the difference in your erections, your stamina, and your confidence almost immediately. Technique is what separates a man who casually squeezes from a man who truly masters control over his own sexual power. The most important rule of correct technique is isolation. The pelvic floor is a small hidden muscle, and when you contract it, no other part of your body should be moving. Your stomach should stay soft, your thighs should remain relaxed, your glutes should not be firing, and your breath should remain calm. Most men make the mistake of tensing everything at once, but that only builds strain and blocks blood flow. A perfect Kegel is a silent, invisible contraction that happens deep inside, while the rest of your body remains completely at ease. This isolation is what allows the muscle to grow stronger and more responsive without draining your energy. Breathing is the next key. Many men unconsciously hold their breath when they squeeze, but that creates unnecessary pressure and tension. The correct technique is to inhale deeply, then exhale slowly as you contract the muscle. The breath should flow naturally, like you are letting stress leave your body with every exhale. This keeps the movement smooth and controlled, allowing you to hold longer and pulse faster without strain. Proper breathing also links your mind to the contraction, keeping you aware and present instead of distracted. The contraction itself must be precise. When you squeeze the pelvic floor, imagine lifting the muscle upward and inward, like you are pulling it toward your belly button. The sensation should feel like you are stopping urine or lifting your manhood from the inside. You should feel a gentle upward pull in your pelvis, and if you focus carefully, you may even notice your penis twitch slightly in response. That twitch is confirmation that you are hitting the right spot. The tighter and cleaner the contraction, the more effective the exercise becomes. But squeezing alone is not enough. The release is just as important. Many men focus only on the tension, but letting go fully teaches the muscle to relax, and that relaxation is what prevents stiffness and fatigue. The correct Kegel always includes a clean release, where you let the muscle soften completely before the next squeeze. This full range of motion, tightening with precision, then releasing fully, ensures balance and avoids overtraining. Without the release, you build tension that can backfire, but with it you build strength and endurance together. Start by practicing short holds. Squeeze the muscle, hold it tight for 3 seconds, then let it go. Feel the contraction clearly, feel the release fully, and repeat. This rhythm trains the muscle to fire on command without strain. Once you can do this with ease, extend the hold to 5 seconds, then 10. Longer holds build endurance, teaching the muscle to sustain pressure, which directly translates into harder, longer-lasting erections.
The longer you can hold with control, the more command you will have in the bedroom. In addition to long holds, practice quick pulses. Squeeze and release in rapid succession, like snapping your fingers but inside your pelvis. These quick contractions train the muscle for speed and responsiveness, giving you the ability to stop yourself instantly when you're too close to climax. Slow holds give you endurance, quick pulses give you control, and together they form the foundation of true mastery. Correct technique requires both. Another detail that matters is posture. When you are just starting, it is best to lie flat on your back, because this removes unnecessary tension from the rest of your body. Once you master the feeling, you can do them sitting, standing, even walking. A man who truly masters technique can do Kegels anywhere, anytime, without a single person noticing. This is the beauty of the exercise. You can train while living your life in complete secrecy, while building strength that will shock you and your partner when the time comes to perform. Awareness is everything. Do not rush. Do not guess. Do not let your mind wander. Each repetition should be intentional. Each squeeze should be focused. Each release should be complete. Quality always beats quantity. 10 perfect Kegels are worth more than 50 sloppy ones. The goal is not just movement, but mastery. And mastery comes from focus. Every time you contract correctly, you are wiring your brain to take command of your body. This connection grows stronger with each session until the muscle responds instantly, even in the heat of passion. A correct Kegel should never create pain or strain. If you feel discomfort in your stomach, lower back, or legs, you are using the wrong muscles. The right contraction feels contained and controlled, deep in the pelvis, without radiating outward. It may feel subtle at first, but as the muscle strengthens, the contraction becomes sharper and more powerful. Over time, you will notice you can. Another powerful way to test your technique is through awareness during arousal. When you are erect, try contracting the pelvic floor and notice how your penis lifts slightly with each squeeze. That lift is your confirmation that the muscle is engaged. Practicing this control during arousal trains you for real-life situations, teaching you to use Kegels not just as an exercise but as a tool during sex. With correct technique, you can use these contractions to hold back orgasm, increase blood flow, and even create extra stimulation for your partner. The beauty of correct technique is that it builds discipline, and discipline turns into power. Every contraction is a reminder that you are not a prisoner of your reflexes. You are the master of them. Every hold strengthens not just your body but your mind, proving that you can command your sexual energy instead of being overwhelmed by it. Every release teaches you balance, reminding you that true strength includes the ability to let go. When you combine precision, breathing, isolation, and awareness, you unlock the full potential of Kegels. You are no longer just squeezing randomly. You are training deliberately. You are programming your body to obey you, to respond when you need it most, to stay hard when others would falter, to last when others would give in. This is what correct technique gives you. A direct line between your willpower and your physical performance. A level of control that separates men who hope from men who know.
Once you have found the muscle and learned the correct technique, the next step is building a beginner routine, because consistency is what turns knowledge into real power. A single squeeze will not transform your sex life, but disciplined training, day after day, will rewire your body and give you the kind of strength and control that most men only dream about. The beginner routine is where you build the foundation, and this foundation will carry you into lasting stamina, harder erections, and orgasms that shake your entire body with intensity. Without a routine, progress fades, but with it, your power grows every single day. The beginner routine must be simple, because simplicity is what keeps you consistent. You do not need complicated movements, special equipment, or long hours of effort. You need only your awareness, your breath, and a few minutes of focused contractions every day. The beauty of Kegels is that they require no gym, no trainer, no audience, and no space. You can do them anywhere, and no one will ever know, but the results will be impossible to hide when you are with your partner. Start with 10 slow contractions. Squeeze the pelvic floor muscle gently but firmly, hold it for 3 seconds, and then release completely. Each repetition is a test of your focus, because the goal is not speed but clarity. You must feel the contraction deep inside, feel the lift, and then feel the release fully before the next repetition. This cycle of tension and relaxation is the beginning of endurance, and every hold is a step closer to mastery. After the slow holds, perform 10 quick pulses, contract the muscle sharply, release immediately, and repeat. These quick contractions train responsiveness, teaching the muscle to fire instantly when you need to hold back ejaculation. Slow holds give you endurance, quick pulses give you reflex control, and together they form the perfect foundation for stamina. This combination, 10 slow holds, 10 quick squeezes, is the golden routine for every beginner, simple enough to remember, powerful enough to transform. Repeat this routine twice a day, once in the morning to set your body on fire with awareness, and once at night to seal your progress before rest. You can do it lying down, sitting at your desk, or even driving in your car. No one will notice, but inside your body the muscles will be strengthening, the connections sharpening, and the control deepening. In just a few weeks you will feel the difference, not just during sex but in your daily awareness of your own masculinity. At first you may feel the contractions are weak, the holds shaky, the release is uncertain, but that is how every new practice begins. Just as the first push-up feels heavy, the first Kegel may feel faint. Do not doubt the process. With each repetition your strength builds quietly, and soon what once felt weak will feel powerful and sharp. The beginner routine is not about instant results, it is about creating a habit, a rhythm, a foundation of discipline that leads to transformation. Do not rush the routine. Quality matters more than quantity. 10 perfect squeezes done with focus will do more for you than 50 sloppy ones where your abs or thighs are taking over. Always return to the breath, always return to the focus, always return to the precision of the squeeze. This is not just exercise, it is meditation for your masculinity, a moment where you connect to the deepest part of your sexual power with discipline and control. Over time you will notice subtle changes. You will feel the muscle engage more strongly, you will feel a sharper lift, and you will notice that you can hold longer without strain. You may catch yourself activating the muscle unconsciously, simply because the connection is becoming second nature. This is proof that the beginner routine is working, that your body is rewiring itself for control. These changes will soon spill over into the bedroom, where you will notice that your erections are harder, your stamina longer, and your ability to hold back orgasm more natural. The beginner routine also trains patience, because it forces you to slow down and focus on something invisible. You cannot see the pelvic floor contracting, you can only feel it, and that forces you to develop awareness, discipline, and trust in the process. This patience carries over into sex, where the ability to slow down, control, and command your body separates the ordinary man from the extraordinary one. Stick to this routine for at least 4 weeks before attempting to advance. Just as no one builds a powerful chest in a single week, no man builds a powerful pelvic floor without consistency. The beginner routine is not about pushing limits, it is about engraving the habit into your daily life until it becomes effortless. Once it becomes part of your rhythm, you will no longer ask if it works, you will know, because your body will prove it to you in every intimate encounter. The secret is not to chase intensity but to build consistency. Every man has a few spare minutes each day, and if you use those minutes for Kegels, you are choosing to invest in your sexual power instead of wasting them. 10 minutes a day is all it takes to build the foundation of stamina, strength, and confidence that will change the way you approach sex for the rest of your life. The beginner routine is not demanding, but the results it delivers are profound, because small, consistent effort compounds into unshakable control. Do not underestimate the power of starting small. The greatest athletes, the strongest men, the most disciplined masters all began with small steps repeated daily. The pelvic floor is no different. 10 holds, 10 squeezes, twice a day may seem simple, but that simplicity is exactly why it works. There are no excuses, no barriers, no costs. Only your willpower decides if you build this strength or remain stuck with the same struggles. The beginner routine is the doorway, the entry point into a new chapter of your masculinity. It is the proof that your body is not fixed, that you are not doomed to premature release, weak erections, or lack of confidence. It is the evidence that you can take control, that you can train, that you can rise above mediocrity with simple, deliberate practice. Every man has the same choice to ignore this and remain average, or to commit to it and unlock the kind of sexual mastery that changes everything. The true strength of Kegels is not built in a single day or even a single week. It is forged through consistent progress over time, because mastery is not given to those who dabble, it is earned by those who stay committed and demand more from themselves with every passing day. When you first begin, the contractions may feel weak, and the holds may tremble, but progress is hidden in the persistence, because every repetition is a message to your body that you are reclaiming control over your own sexuality. The body responds to discipline, and with time the once shaky contractions turn into firm, powerful grips that pulse with strength and confidence. Building progress means learning to increase your endurance slowly, never rushing, never forcing, but gradually conditioning the pelvic floor to handle greater demands. At first you may only hold for 3 seconds, but over time 3 seconds will become 5, then 8, then 10, and soon you will feel as though you can lock that muscle in place with absolute control. Each increase in duration is proof of growth, and each new level of strength is a reminder that you are mastering something that most men ignore. Progress also comes from adding more repetitions, but not at the expense of precision. A man who does 30 sloppy contractions gains little, but a man who does 15 perfect, controlled, mindful squeezes gains power that cannot be denied. As weeks pass, your body adapts, and what once felt challenging becomes second nature, which is the signal to advance. Add more sets, increase the holds, sharpen the pulses, and keep climbing because your muscles are begging for growth, and it is your responsibility to give them that chance.
Progress is not just physical, it is mental, because every day you repeat the routine, you are training discipline, focus, and self-control. This mental sharpness will follow you into sex, where you will feel yourself holding back with ease, maintaining erections without fear, and lasting long enough to explore new depths of intimacy. The more you train, the more natural this control becomes, until you no longer think about it, you simply own it. That ownership is what separates the average man from the extraordinary man. There will be moments when you feel like skipping a day, moments when your body feels tired, or when progress seems invisible, but those are the exact moments that define your results. Real transformation is never immediate. It is built layer by layer, week after week, month after month, and the men who stay the course are the men who experience the full rewards. Each day of practice is a deposit into a bank of strength, and over time, the interest compounds into unshakable mastery. Do not underestimate how quickly progress can accumulate. Within a few weeks, your erections feel fuller, your control sharper, and your awareness stronger. In a few months, you feel the difference not only during sex but in your posture, your confidence, even your energy levels. This is because the pelvic floor is connected to your core, your breath, and your nervous system, and strengthening it improves your body from the inside out. The progress you build over time is not just sexual, it is physical, emotional, and psychological. Progress also requires variation, because the body adapts and seeks new challenges. Once the beginner routine feels easy, begin to add longer holds, deeper contractions, or incorporate reverse Kegels, where you consciously relax and expand the muscle. This balance of strength and release ensures that your control is complete, because true mastery is not just the ability to squeeze harder, but the ability to relax at will, allowing you to guide arousal, delay orgasm, and command your sexual energy with precision. The beauty of progress is that it never truly ends, because there is always another level of strength, another degree of control, another layer of awareness to explore. Each step forward builds upon the last, and soon you will realize that your body is capable of far more than you once believed. The man who could barely hold a contraction for 3 seconds becomes the man who can hold for 30. The man who once struggled to last 5 minutes in bed becomes the man who can last as long as he chooses, and all of it comes from building progress over time. This journey is not just about performance, it is about transformation. Every contraction is a declaration that you are taking responsibility for your pleasure, your power, and your presence as a man. Every hold is a reminder that your body responds to discipline, and every week of progress is proof that your future does not have to look like your past. The struggles you once accepted as normal, premature release, weak erections, lack of control become nothing more than memories, because you chose to commit, to progress, to evolve. When you train the pelvic floor consistently, you are not just working a muscle, you are rewiring your nervous system, teaching your body to obey your mind, teaching your arousal to serve your will instead of controlling you. That level of control only comes with time, only comes with progress, only comes with relentless dedication. This is why most men never experience it, because they quit before the results show, they stop before the transformation takes hold. But the man who builds progress patiently, steadily, faithfully, becomes unstoppable. Imagine the confidence of knowing you can last as long as you want, the confidence of knowing your erections are unshakably strong, the confidence of knowing you are in full command of your body at every moment. That confidence is not a fantasy, it is the natural result of progress built day by day, week by week, month by month. There is no shortcut, but there is also no ceiling, because as long as you keep going, you keep growing. The path of progress is the path of mastery, and mastery is what gives you freedom. Freedom to enjoy sex without fear of finishing too soon, freedom to explore pleasure without limitation, freedom to connect with your partner without distraction, freedom to embody the most powerful version of yourself. That freedom is priceless, but it is earned only through commitment to progress. Every squeeze is a brick, every hold is a stone, and together they build the unbreakable foundation of your sexual strength. The secret to mastery is not hidden in grand moments, but in the small habits that shape your daily life, because real transformation happens when Kegels stop feeling like an exercise and start becoming a natural part of who you are. It is not about waiting for the perfect time, it is about weaving these contractions into the fabric of your routine until they blend seamlessly with your every movement. You do not need a gym, you do not need equipment, you only need awareness and consistency, because the strength you seek is already inside your body waiting to be awakened. You can perform Kegels while brushing your teeth, because those 2 minutes in front of the mirror are the perfect opportunity to lock in contractions that build strength without stealing your time. You can perform them while waiting at a red light, because instead of sitting in frustration, you can be investing in your power. You can perform them at your desk while answering emails, because no one around you will ever know that you are silently sharpening your control. You can perform them while watching television, while walking, while cooking, while lying in bed, because your pelvic floor does not need privacy, it needs repetition. When you integrate Kegels into daily life, you remove the excuses that hold most men back, because there is no more "I don't have time," there is only "I will do them now." That shift in mindset is what separates men who stay weak from men who become unshakably strong.
Each time you choose to engage your pelvic floor during an ordinary activity, you reinforce a powerful message to yourself. I am always in control. I am always progressing. I am always building. The beauty of integrating Kegels into your life is that the practice becomes effortless over time. At first you must remind yourself, but soon your body begins to crave the contraction, and without even thinking you will tighten, hold, release and repeat, as naturally as breathing. This automatic habit is what ensures progress continues without struggle, because when something becomes automatic, it cannot be lost. Imagine walking down the street and feeling your pelvic floor pulse with strength at will. Imagine sitting in a meeting and knowing that beneath the table you are training. Imagine living your life knowing that every moment is an opportunity to grow stronger. Integrating Kegels into daily life also builds intimacy with your own body, because the more you practice, the more aware you become of the subtle signals your muscles send. You begin to feel the difference between a weak squeeze and a strong squeeze, between a shallow hold and a deep hold, between tension and relaxation. This awareness is what gives you precision in sex, because you are no longer guessing what your body is doing, you are directing it with mastery. The power of integration lies in consistency, and consistency turns into momentum, and momentum transforms into results that no man can deny. Your erections grow harder because blood flow improves with every repetition. Your stamina expands because endurance grows with every hold. Your control sharpens because discipline strengthens with every cycle. This is not occasional progress, it is continuous progress, because every day in every setting, you are feeding strength into your core. Even moments of stress become opportunities for practice, because when the mind is anxious, the body tends to hold tension in the wrong places, but by redirecting that focus into controlled contractions, you transform stress into growth. Each contraction under stress trains you to remain calm under pressure, a skill that translates directly into sexual performance, where pressure often makes men collapse. Instead of falling apart, you stay composed, because daily integration has conditioned your body to remain strong regardless of circumstance. The most powerful men are the ones who make their strength invisible, because they do not need to announce it, they simply live it. This is the gift of integrating Kegels into daily life. You carry secret power everywhere you go. No one sees it, no one knows it, but you feel it, and that feeling radiates through your presence. Your posture shifts, your confidence deepens, your aura changes, because strength is not just in your muscles, it is in your energy, and daily practice amplifies that energy without limit. You must remember that sex does not happen in isolation, it happens in the flow of daily life, and the control you bring to the bedroom is built from the habits you live outside of it. By integrating Kegels into every corner of your routine, you are not just preparing for sex, you are preparing for life. You are building a body that responds instantly to your command, a mind that never loses focus, and a confidence that refuses to break. Every contraction you perform during the day is a step toward unshakable control. Every hold you sustain in silence is a declaration of mastery. Every release is a reminder that you are sculpting a stronger version of yourself. Integration is the bridge between knowledge and transformation, because knowing how to do Kegels means nothing if you do not practice, but practicing them daily guarantees that change will come. The man who makes Kegels a ritual becomes unstoppable, because his growth never pauses. Integrating Kegels into daily life also protects you from regression, because many men start strong but fade away, forgetting the exercises and losing the benefits. But if Kegels live in your daily rhythm, you never stop, you never slip, you never lose what you have gained. You only keep moving forward, each day adding a new layer of strength, each month revealing a new depth of control, each year building a foundation so solid it cannot be shaken. Think of Kegels as a secret discipline, one that you carry with you everywhere, one that strengthens you quietly, one that empowers you endlessly. The more you integrate them, the more natural they feel, the more they blend with your identity, the more they become who you are. When they are part of your life, you do not just do Kegels, you live them, and that is where the true transformation lies.